Welcome, Drink with James, episode 118. Wow, 118. I had an interesting, real quick aside. We had For You last night. We had a bunch of influencers in the office, and I was talking about how old I am, which is 34. And some people were like, oh my gosh, you look so young for 34, which isn't really, like, fine. Botox is great. You should all, preventative Botox, just Botox in general, it's fantastic. They're like, what's your skincare regime? It's like, yeah, La Mer and Botox. But it was the first time that, like, someone's like, oh, you look so young for your age, meaning like you're fucking old and you don't look that old. Which is why I don't hang out with 22-year-olds generally, is that I don't need that in my life. But look, if you're going to be seen as an old man by the influencers that are in the office, you might as well not look like one. So thank you to botulism, the botulism in my forehead, for freezing it up, and to La Mer and La Prairie, our wonderful clients who continue to give me product when I ask for it. I appreciate all of you, and this was a team effort, so cheers to that. If you haven't applied for freshman class, you should do so. It is a program that we're doing here in New York City in November. We are trying to help amplify underrepresented voices in the influencer space. We'll be flying out 10 influencers to New York. We're putting them up in the Four Seasons Hotel downtown. They're going to have a couple days of mentorship, education, networking with clients, a little bit of drinking, a little bit of partying as well. You're going to shoot we're going to work on an actual project with the Four Seasons. You're going to be teamed up with a mentor, established influencer mentor who you're going to get one-on-one time with, and then you'll get some kind of consulting help from the Four team in the months after freshman class. So it's a great program, should teach you a lot, hopefully help speed the career up a little bit more, introduce you to a bunch of brands and influencers, and you get to come to New York on our dime. So do we have a lot of applications? Yes, we have over 1,000. That said, we are going to read every single one. Don't be deterred by the number of applications. One, we are going to read and review every single application, no matter how many we get, even if we have to hire a couple people to help us weed through the first couple of rounds as we cut it down. But also, there's no reason you can't win, even if there's 2,000 applications. So if you haven't applied, if you've been thinking about it, if you look at yourself and your feed and you say, my voice or voices like mine are underrepresented in this space, then freshman class is for you. Apply. If you haven't, we'll put a link somewhere. So far, it's been really fun reading the applications, reading the testimonials. I love seeing all of that. To everyone who's watching this who did apply, thank you. And I hope, well, one of you will probably win and I get to meet you. So that'll be great. So if you haven't applied, please do so. Also, just a little plug for you. The conference is coming up as well. I know we have a lot of stuff going on, and I'm sure you get a lot of emails about it, but the conference is fully locked. We've got all the speakers. The lineup is incredible. It's going to be a great day. If you have not got your ticket yet and you're thinking about it, do it, and do it soon, because we are running out of space there. We cap it and try and keep it under 100 people so that it feels intimate and small and helpful. So we are nearly out of tickets, so if you're thinking about it, jump on it early, grab your ticket. Question number one is, what do I think about the founders leaving Instagram? What does it mean for influencers? First of all, gutsy, bold move on their part. I've always had a lot of respect for the founders of Instagram. I've always said that all of you should be, worshiping at the feet of them for creating this incredible product. I think it's tough to work for Mark Zuckerberg. I think that it is tough to be a company that Facebook has purchased. We now have had two groups of founders leave. The WhatsApp founder left as well. He unlike Kevin and Mike, yeah, unlike Kevin and Mike, he left $850 million on the table. He wanted to get out of Facebook so badly that he essentially paid $850 million to leave early. But when you make billions, I guess $850 million isn't that much. I don't know. Great problems to have. But what do I think will happen? I think that, you know, Kevin and Mike, from what I understand, were very staunch defenders of Instagram and trying to keep Instagram what it was meant to be and trying to keep it a really special place that is as ad-free as possible. I think that with them gone, without somebody constantly fighting, you might see a faster integration of Facebook into Instagram. You already start to see sometimes in your feed, you can see Facebook notifications coming into your Instagram feed, which is really dumb and annoying. But look, other side of it is, look, you know, one, Facebook is an unbelievable company, but 98% of their revenue comes from advertising. They're an advertising company, so will you see more ads on Instagram? Probably. And we'll probably start to see different ad products coming in at a higher velocity. We might see things rolled out that aren't as well thought out. I actually thought, you know, the IGTV launch was pretty piss poor, and I'm still, what, 2-3 months into IGTV. Never find myself using it. I think it's a pretty worthless product. So we might see things getting launched more quickly. But Facebook knows how valuable Instagram is. They know it's their only link to young people anymore. Young people do not like Facebook, obviously. So I do think that Mark is cautious enough that he is not going to ruin the platform. He kind of knows what they have there, and they need to try and keep it pretty similar to what it is now. So I don't think there's going to be any big change. I don't think there's going to be any, you know, big change for influencers in the short term. I wish, you know, Kevin and Mike well, and again, I think we should all raise a glass and say thank you for building this amazing app and for staying. You know, they are rich beyond their wildest imaginations, and it's probably pretty annoying going to work and fighting with people every single day, and they could be sitting in an island drinking and spending money, and just like they could literally have a bonfire every night and just burn cash, and they would never run out of money. But they chose to go to work because they chose to defend the community and defend that platform. That is quite honorable. So I think that Instagram is certainly a worse place for them not being at the helm anymore. So we'll see what happens, you know. But the nice thing is we all have free will, and if they fuck it up really bad, somebody will come up with another platform, and you know, that is the way things work. It happened to Tumblr, it happened to MySpace before that, it happened to Friendster before that, like it happened to Facebook before, well, somewhere in the middle there. This is a natural thing. We've always said on the show that, you know, I don't have any confidence that Instagram is going to continue to play as significant a role in culture as it is today in 5 years. There's just no way that that's going to happen. Mostly because young people don't use it. Super young people don't use it, and eventually whatever the kids are using will all get on. So we'll see what that is. Question number 2. When you do a sponsored project with the brand, when's the appropriate time to send a follow-up report? What should be in the report? We talked about this last night. We had a For You on sales and negotiation. The report is one of your best sales tools that you can use. After a campaign is done, you want to send a robust report to that brand. This is your chance to tell your story. Here's the thing, if you don't send them a report, or if you don't send them a note about how the post did for you, what they have to go off of is how many likes did you get and how many comments did you get. That's it. So if they worked with 50 people and your engagement was somewhere in the middle, then You just are somewhere in the middle because you haven't reframed those numbers for them. You haven't added context for that brand. And this is what reports do at their best. They don't just give you the numbers that are there. They provide context. They allow you to tell a story about why the money they spent was well spent with you and why you think that you have in some way influenced your audience, told their brand story effectively, whatever it might be. So what should be in that report are the numbers that help you tell that story more effectively. Obviously you need your basic likes, comments, things like that. But I think you should also be putting stuff from your insights, from your business insights. Put your reach, put your impressions, put your saves. Saves is I think a big one that isn't included that should be. Did you get any DMs? How many DMs did you get about the product? Say that. Actually screenshot your DMs. If it is a product and people are asking you questions about the product, screenshot those DM conversations, put those in the report. Pull out some of the more favorable product-focused comments, put those in the report. You need to tell the story of why they should work with you again. This isn't about what happened in the last campaign. I mean, it is, but more so it is about why they want to work with you in the next campaign. So make sure you're telling that story, and when you look at the numbers, you look at what you're going to send them, ask yourself if you think those numbers are impressive enough or that story is compelling enough that they would want to work with you again. When to send it? I'd say, I think 3 days after a post, you're not getting likes or comments on that anymore. So 3 to 5 days after the post is done, I would try and send the report. Some of you might be like, oh, I'm too busy, I can't do that. To that I say, you're fucking crazy. You're not too busy. You can definitely do that. If you're so busy doing sponsored content that you can't spend 10 minutes putting together a simple report, then you need to hire somebody to help you do that, because that's not an acceptable excuse. We're running close to 80 campaigns this week. We don't get to tell our clients, oh, so sorry, we couldn't do any reporting because I'm too busy working with another brand. I don't care about you anymore. I already have your money. That's what it kind of tells a brand. I will say that, our team, we have fairly robust technology that helps us build these reports. We almost never get a report from an influencer. I think that's partially because they know we have a reporting system, but the people I talk to at brands is saying the same thing, that they're not getting reports. It's a very simple way to differentiate yourself. It shows a level of care and professionalism, but also just a level of respect for the work that you've done. If a brand paid you $3,000 and you spent an hour on that post, you've just made $3,000 in an hour, which congratulations. But maybe spend another 30 minutes putting together a report or even just an email. It doesn't have to be in a PDF. It doesn't have to be designed. That might be ideal, but it can just be an email that kind of lays out everything that happened. Spend the time. It also might be worth trying to get them on the phone for 15 minutes to talk through it, what worked well, what didn't. Regardless, if it is just an email, ask for the next sale. Love to get on the phone this week, talk through this and anything you guys have coming up in the future. Would love to work with you again. Would love to, whatever you're working on, let me know. I know holidays coming up. Let me know if, what you guys are focused on. I'd love to be a part of it. Whatever. That report is the place where you're going to ask for the next sale. And so showing a level of professionalism and care and telling a good, compelling story about why your content was effective, it's just good business. It makes sense. I cannot understand how every influencer isn't spending time doing these reports. It is low-hanging fruit for you. Take it. That is my gift to you this week. I still have another question to answer, but that's the big nugget for you. So, question number 3. Do you feel like there's a slow time for brand deals? Is it consistent? I'm not as sure on the influencer side. Advertising is cyclical. I will tell you our slow times are July and September. I don't know why. Those have historically been kind of slow months for us. But advertising works in waves. If you're a style influencer, brands don't want to spend money on advertising when things are on sale. So anytime there's stuff on sale, there's generally not as much advertising going on because you don't want to drive people to your site to buy something on sale. You don't want to advertise the fact that you're on sale because it means you couldn't sell it full price. So it definitely is cyclical. There are definitely slow times. You should be able to answer this question yourself because you should be keeping financials and you should have every month how many brand deals you got, how much money you made. You should be tracking month over month what you're making, but maybe more importantly, tracking year over year. What are you making? What did you do in Q1 of 2017 versus 2018? What are your goals for Q1 of 2019? What does that mean? What's your average deal size this year versus last year? How are you going to try and grow that this year? What is your retention rate? Lay out every client that you work with in a year and then lay every client that you worked with in 2017. How many of those did you work with in 2018? If the number is 10%, you have a huge retention problem. For some reason, brands aren't coming back. If it's 70%, awesome. You're doing a great job, and you should be, pat yourself on the back. But you need to understand your financial situation. You need to understand your business, and you should be able to plan around that. We now can look at it and say, okay, we know September is usually hard for us. We're not totally sure why, but now we just plan for September to be tight. We don't, we kind of know that we're not going to make as much there. So as we plan out our spending for the year, we know, that we might be, 20% down in September than what we usually are. So it's important to look at your own, look at your own calendar and look at how things are working for you and if there are peaks and valleys, and don't assume necessarily that those peaks and valleys will just flatten out at some point. We have found that those trends are pretty sticky, and that they kind of recur over and over again. So get your finances in order, people. It is incredibly important. If you don't understand your business and your money, then you are going to have a very hard time being successful. I don't understand it. I'm not good at it. I don't care are not excuses. I have an agent is not an excuse. I have a business manager is not an excuse. There isn't a successful entrepreneur, business person in the world who doesn't have a pretty deep understanding of the financial health of their organization. I don't know what else to say. Oh, here's something. Good person to follow if you want some tips. Justin Bridges, someone that we interviewed before. You can I don't know what episode he is, but Tim might put it up somewhere, or you can just search in the search engine. We talked a bit about this, but he also talks about money management and how to manage your money more effectively on his Instagram all the time. He's a creative who used to work in finance. He also will answer any questions on Instagram if you send him a DM about finances and how to manage things. There are resources out there. It doesn't have to be that scary. Get your bills in order, people. So that is it. I'm done. Goodbye.